A fragile peace between the kingdom of Bretonnia and the wood elves of Athaloran is sometimes tested. A questing knight returned from the forest to find a nearby hamlet pillaged. Banners were called, and a small contingent of Bretonnians and wood elves now meet on the battlefield. Welcome to the Old World, presented by Miniature Game Montage. Alright, welcome back to MGM. I'm Jimmy, and today I have my first Old World game with my buddy Rob. The scene of the battlefield and the miniatures is really bringing some nostalgia back for me. A time when I was a kid but couldn't quite bring together what I see on the table before me. We're playing Battle March today, and the Bretonnians have a paladin on a warhorse. He has a lance and shield, the Knight's Vow, and the Virtue of Purity. He is attached to 5 Knights of the Realm with full command. They have 20 men-at-arms with full command, 10 peasant bowmen and skirmishers with light armor, and 5 mounted yeomen with light armor, and a musician and feigned flight, in total 500 points. The Wood Elves have a branch wraith with an additional hand weapon and the spell Oaken Shield. She is attached to a unit of 12 dryads with a nymph. 10 Glade Guard join them with arcane bodkins and full command. The formation also has 5 war dancers, in total 497 points. Today we're playing Pitched Battle, and 3 objectives will dot the board. These objectives will be worth 30 points at the end of each player's turn. With sides deployed, we gear up for turn 1, where the Bretonnians will be up first. I would like to give a big thank you to Rob for bringing in his amazing painted armies and for showing me the ropes in my first game. Let's get to turn 1. I hope you enjoy the story. And the time for peace has been cast aside as these 2 contingents meet on the battlefield. The Wood Elves have deployed with archers on the hill, as the Bretonnians have put their mounted yeomen on the left flank, Bretonnian bowmen behind the hill, knights down the middle, and men-at-arms on the right flank. Turn 1 opens up with the Bretonnians sending their men-at-arms forward with a march as they will wheel towards the objective and get within striking distance of it. Peasant bowmen are instructed to move as they get to the top of the hill and knock arrows. Mounted yeomen on the left flank right alongside them, being cautious on the approach to the Wood Elves. At the center of the board, mounted Knights of the Realm led by a paladin surge forward to the objective. In the shooting phase, short bows from the mounted yeomen erupt, hitting 3 times, needing 5s. The result is 2 wounds on the dryads as they fail their saves and fail their regen. A call of loose can be heard down the bowman line as 2 more hits go into the dryads. There is a wound on a 5, and the save on a 5 is failed. The regen failed as well, as 3 of them are taken down in the shooting phase. The Wood Elves look to recover as the Branch Wraith casts Oaken Shield, which is successful. An order is then called to the War Dancers on the left flank to charge into the men-at-arms. The men-at-arms hold firm as they brace for impact, while over on the right flank, the dryads are going to march forwards to the objective. In the shooting phase, from their vantage point, the Glaive Guard fire into the oncoming Knights of the Realm. 3 hits results in 2 wounds, which pierces their armor and takes down 2 of the Knights. In our first melee combat, the Blade Dancers dance to a storm of blades, launching 15 attacks into the men-at-arms. The War Dancers decimate the front line, causing 6 casualties. The men-at-arms thrust their polearms forward, and while they achieve 2 hits, they do not convert to any wounds. They take a leadership test. The Paladin is nearby, so on an 8 or less, they will give ground, using their Shield Wall special rule as the War Dancers follow up. And as turn 1 comes to a close, the Bretonnians will score 90 points for holding objectives, 2 from the Knights of the Realm and 1 from the men-at-arms at the end of their turn. The Wood Elves score 30 as we go to the top of turn 2. The Bretonnians are quick to dispel Oakenshield as the Knights of the Realm charge forward into the Glaive Guard. The Glaive Guard knock arrows and fire. The Glaive Guard land 4 hits, cause 2 wounds, and the musician is taken down. The action continues on the left flank as the mounted yeomen are going to pass a leadership test and march as they move towards the center of the board. Standing firm, peasant bowmen ready arrows and fire into the dryads. 5s are needed to wound, and there's 2, but 1 is an armor bane, which will be AP1. 1 armor save on the regular is failed, and 1 regen will be failed. The bowmen cause another casualty as we move to combat with the Knights of the Realm. Thundering down on them, the paladin hits once and causes a wound, which will take down one of the Glaive Guard. The champion and standard bearer hit twice with their lances and take down 2 more of the Glaive Guard. War horses bite and stomp, hitting once, but failing to do a wound. The Glaive Guard attempt to stabilize their ranks, swinging back, hitting once, but failing to wound. Defeated in combat, the Glaive Guard do fall back in good order, while the Knights of the Realm follow up. And thundering down the hill, we now move over to the Bretonnian right flank, where the war dancers are dancing to a storm of blades, getting extra attacks into the men-at-arms. The hits lead to an abysmal wound roll, however, as the men-at-arms only take 1 casualty, saving 1. The men-at-arms valiantly fight back, landing 4 hits of their own, which will cause 3 wounds. Wounds convert to casualties as they fail leadership and get overrun by the men-at-arms as they attempt to flee. The men-at-arms now firmly control the objective as we go to the bottom of turn 2 for the Wood Elves. And up first, the Branch Wraith does cast Oakenshield with irresistible force as the Dryads look to charge into the Peasant Bowmen. Frozen, the Peasant Bowmen hastily knock arrows and fire. Needing 5s to wound, they do get 2, and 1 save will be made as Oakenshield gives a 5-up ward save, saves the other. As we move to combat, the mighty Paladin swings his hand weapon, hitting once, and that will cause a wound and casualty onto the Glaive Guard. The 2 knights behind him swing and miss as their war horses land 1 hit but fail to wound. The Glaive Guard strike the knights back, landing 2 hits, which will cause 1 wound. It will be saved by the knights. Failing leadership, the Glaive Guard disappear into the nearby woods, while the knights restrain their horses and reform. As we move to the next combat, the Branch Wraith launches 3 attacks, hitting all 3 times into the Peasant Bowmen. 3 hits converts to 3 wounds, and failed saves with light armor chops down 3 of the bowmen. The Dryads follow up, hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s, causing more damage to the bowmen. 1 light armor save is passed, 2 more are cut down as they attempt to fight back. And unable to cause any damage, the bowmen fail leadership and run off the battlefield as the Dryads, unable to restrain themselves, give chase, but check up just short on the hill. Turn 2 comes to a close with a mighty swing to the Bretonnians' favor as they were able to rout the Glaive Guard. They were able to chase down the War Dancers, but did lose the Bretonnian bowmen. Turn 3 begins with a dispel of Oakenshield, which is unsuccessful. Bretonnian men-at-arms are going to turn as they look to protect the objective. Knights will shuffle on the hill as they await the Dryad to return back to the center, as the mounted yeomen are going to back up and ready their shortbows. The hit roll resulted in 2 hits, which resulted in 2 wounds. Saves are taken and failed. Ward saves from Oakenshield are also failed, and a regen roll is going to be good on 1. 1 Dryad goes down. In the bottom of turn 3, the Dryad are going to cast Oakenshield once again and just elect to move here, trying to close the gap on the skirmishing mounted yeomen. As we go to the top of turn 4, Oakenshield will be dispelled as the yeomen back off, protecting the men-at-arms. They take 5 shots with their short bows and hit 3 times. That converts into 2 wounds, and 1 save will be failed, but the regen will be good. As we go to the bottom of 4 for the Wood Elves, they attempt to cast Oakenshield, but it will be dispelled by the Bretonnians. A charge is announced into the mounted yeomen, who are going to fire and flee, hitting twice with their bows, needing 5s. An arrow from a short bow does find the mark. Regen is unsuccessful. They take one of the Dryad down as they roll to charge into combat. Unfortunately, the Dryad exhaust before they can reach their target as the mounted yeomen stay out of range. The turn concludes, and the Bretonnians appear to be pulling away in this one, as we are going to play out turn 5 over to Bretonnia. The Bretonnians ready to strike down their foes. The mounted yeomen announce a charge into the Dryad, as do the Knights of the Realm from atop the hill. Horses clatter down the hill as the Paladin lets loose with 3 attacks, and he hits once. The Paladin wounds on 2s, which results in a fatal blow. A regen roll is unsuccessful. One of the Dryad goes down. Remaining knights and their war horses fail to cause any damage as the Branch Wraith attacks the yeoman with 3 attacks of her own. She gets 2 hits, which cause 2 wounds, and she takes one of the yeomen down. The yeomen do get to attack next into the Dryads as they land 2 hits. They will convert 1 wound, and the regen will be failed. The horses then attack next, landing 3 hits of their own, and that is going to cause 2 wounds. The Dryad do take saves here, and while 1 is failed, a regen roll will be good, and they do not take any more casualties here. The Dryad finally have the opportunity to strike back, making it count with 3 hits, but they only convert 1 wound against the yeoman. The save will be failed, and a yeoman will be removed. The Dryad are able to fall back in good order, but they are going to be engaged by the Knights and run down. In the end, at the top of the next turn, the mounted yeomen and the Knights of the Realm continued to push into the Dryad, where they would be eliminated, holding their ground. And with that, our first game of the Old World comes to a close. Bit of a learning game here for me. A big thank you to Rob for coming over, providing the miniatures, and showing me how this game works. I was really caught up in just how cinematic this game is, how well everything looked. I was really into it, and I really hope that you enjoy watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. As always, you can leave a comment down below on things we missed or things you would like to see. Really appreciate seeing that. Alright, Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now. That's by no means necessary. If you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Take care.